you have the position correct. When we're doing a clean load with one kettlebell or two, you're working at whatever your pace is. The pace is relative to what weight you're using and what your conditioning is. But whatever pace I'm working, when I feel like I'm about to get fatigued, I have to rest, I learn to rest here. Okay? And in order to get a true rest, I have to basically be holding the weight with my posture versus with my arm. Okay? So that's the first thing we're going to cover is this alignment, is getting the correct alignment so that when I'm here, I can relax. The saying is calm under pressure, or it's like the eye of the storm. Okay? You have stress, which stress is the load itself, and then you have to be relaxed under stress. Okay? And this is counterintuitive, which is why we need training. Intuition is not always the best thing. Okay? Intuition, if, say, in martial arts or self-defense, if someone attacks you, our intuition is to do this, right? But training teaches us to move into it. Okay? So, with kettlebell lifting, our intuition is that when we start getting tired, is that we want to go fast and just finish it because it hurts. We want to get it over. We have to train ourselves to relax and slow down and recover. And if I do that, I can keep working all day. All right? But in order to be able to do that, I have to have my alignment correct. So that's what we're going to focus on. There's 6 points of alignment that we have to be aware of. And I'm going to go over those 6 points, and we're going to practice it, and then we're going to get into a time set with the clean. Okay, the first issue is the legs from the ground up. When I'm here, I want my legs to be straight. Intuition, for an untrained person, they're going to want to do this. When you start getting tired, you want to completely relax like this. But when my legs are bent, the quad is contracting. And as long as the quad is contracting, I can't get a full recovery. The muscles has to work. It's being fueled here. So I want to take the muscles out of the equation, and I do that by using my joints. Okay, so I'm using my structure to support the load versus the muscles. Okay, so I straighten the legs, and now my quads can relax because the knee is locked in position. It's not rigid. I'm not hyperextending the knee. I'm just extending it. So the legs are straight. That's the first one. Not here. Legs straight. Second point, the elbow rests on the hip, specifically the iliac crest, this bony apparatus here. If I'm here, then my trap is engaged, my biceps engaged. Those muscles are going to fatigue. Even with a light weight, after a few minutes, that light weight starts feeling like a heavy weight. Okay? So I have to relax my trap, relax my arm, and I do that by sinking, and I drop my elbow on my hip. So I'm using my structure. This would be analogous to a parent holding a child standing in the line. Right? I'm going to hold an arm, which is the hip. Okay? It's also analogous to martial arts grappling arms. When you're throwing somebody, you're not going to throw with your arm. You use your kick to lever. Okay? So I'm using my hip and letting the elbow rest on the hip. So the load is on my hip, and that's aligned. My knee is straight, and the force is going straight. Third point is where the kettlebell sits in the game. I want the kettlebell to sit diagonally, have the webbing of the thumb diagonally to the base of the palm. So it's here, diagonally. Okay? If it's off even by an inch, it throws off everything. If it's up here, it puts a lot of pressure on the wrist and the forearm starts getting fatigued, and I'm not going to be able to hold it. So a lot of times in training, the grip will give out before your cardiorespiratory system is fully depleted. So I want to let the grip relax as much as possible, and I have it here, so now it's aligned over my forearm versus on the metacarpals of the wrist. Okay? So not here, here. Next point, there should be no gap on the medial side, on the pinky side. There's no gap between the hand and the kettlebell. So if my hand's over here, there's a gap here. Okay? This gap creates instability. So if I have that gap, the kettlebell's going to shake every time. And that little shaking, 5-10 reps, no big deal. But if you're trying to do 100 or 200 reps, every time it shakes, it loosens your grip and it weakens your grip. So it affects your ability to keep working. Okay? So I want this to be right here against my hand, so it's stable, there's no shaking. Okay, so no gap on the pinky side. Fourth point is the alignment of the bell should be over my center of mass. My center of mass is over my base of support. Resistance training, I have what's called a combined center of mass. It's the mass of the weight and the mass of my body has to be congruent. So like this, my center of mass is here, the center of the weight is here. So as time goes on, this starts to crank. Okay? Gravitational force is exerting itself vertically. So this is happening. I need a lot of strength to hold it. My arms need to get up. So I want to have the bell over my center of mass. So if someone were to push, it's like pushing against my body, pushing against the ground. Okay? So not here, but here. Okay? The chest should be hollow. Not like this, not like this. Hollow chest. Okay? So relax. All right. And then the last point is the form. I don't want to have a death grip here where my form is flexed. This is going to fatigue very rapidly. I want to stretch out the form. And the way I do that is by, call this opening the wrist here. I lengthen this medial side of the wrist, this stretching. And as I stretch my wrist here, it allows my form to relax. Now the extensors become low. The extensors have more endurance. So this part of the form is doing more work and allows this part to relax. Okay? So not crush grip, relax the grip. And to help with that, you can just pull your fingers behind the knee like this. And just push the palm outside. That stretches the wrist. Okay? So knee straight, elbow on the hip, kettlebell diagonally in the palm, no gap on the medial side. Stretch the wrist. Bring the kettlebell over the center of mass, out to the outside, and follow the chest. Those are the alignment points. So every rep, whether I'm doing 1 rep or 1,000 reps or any other number, I always come back to this position. So I can work as much as I want, but when I get tired, this is where I stay. And I recover. And if I can recover, then I can keep working. Okay? So it truly is manual labor. Keep going all day. All right. So to start with this,